Welcome back to Bit by Knit with me, Jenny. I'm here today with you guys on the west coast of Canada in beautiful British Columbia, and it is a cooler fall day here. I'm about 3 weeks since my last video, I think. So I wanted to do a video at the 2-week mark, but we had kind of a surprise visit by my in-laws and they stayed with us for the week, so it just kind of made filming a bit of a challenge. And then I also had a couple of work shifts that made it so I couldn't do filming, but that's okay. Here we are, and I actually have a lot to show you guys, and I thought I would start with my finished object, which is what I'm wearing today. I am wearing the Leela top by Caidree, and she is all finished, and I'm so happy with how she turned out. So for this top, I actually used a yarn that I got from Knit Crate years ago that I never ever did anything with, and I decided to finally use it for a tank top because it is a summer yarn. And I'm gonna just like read off the like yarn breakdown because there's like 4 different things in it. Let's see, it has 36% linen or flax, it has 34% cotton, it's 19% tencel, 11% nylon, and it's a chainette style yarn. I believe the color was called Asher, and I might be wrong on that because I usually keep the books that I got from Knit Crate. I would keep the books with the pattern and the yarn names and all that, but this one I didn't. I don't know why. I couldn't find it, so I just looked all this up on Ravelry, and I'm pretty sure that I got the correct yarn off of the Ravelry search that I did. It looked like the right one. It kind of met the parameters of what this one looked like, and anyways, so I'm pretty sure that's the one it is. But because I didn't keep the actual booklet, I'm not positive on the name or the breakdown of the fibers in it, but I'm pretty confident that that's what it is. Yes, so that's the yarn I used. In the crate, it came with 2 skeins, so whatever that meant for yardage or whatever it is, a sport weight apparently. So that would be probably a typical sport weight amount for 2 skeins. And so, yeah, I did the, I don't know, inaccurate math to make sure that it would be enough for this top, which it was, and just barely. I'll actually show you guys what I had left over quick here before I show the top off more. But I had done like a little mini swatch to make sure that my gauge was right. And it actually was a little bit tight. I ended up going, I believe, up half of a needle size because my gauge is, I'm a tight knitter. But this, so my swatch is all that I have left over, plus this tiny little bit of scraps, which I'm keeping in case I get a hole or something happens to the top and I need to repair it. I apologize if I'm sounding a little bit stuffed up. I am getting over a cold, so I'm a little bit stuffed up, but that's okay. Yes, so the Leela top is a 14 by 36 gauge, like per 10 centimeter gauge. So like I said, I was a bit off. I did the size 3 in the pattern, and I think it was supposed to be a 0 to 5 centimeters of positive ease, which I got like a tiny bit of positive ease. So I probably got about 3 maybe? I'm not sure, but it's good. It's a good amount. It's not too tight. It's not too loose. I really like the fit of it. Yeah, that's right. For my size, I did 3.75 millimeter needles. The pattern called for a 3.5 millimeter needle. The only adjustment that I made with it, so the pattern is you do the front first, you knit the front, and then you knit the back, and it's the same, like there's no difference in the front to the back. So I just, for the back, added a whole repeat between the 2 like stitch patterns here. I added a whole repeat for the back so it wouldn't tug up on my neck. It would lay a little bit lower down here, and I didn't feel like it was choking me, and it's a bit higher on my back. And then I did find that when I was making the I-cord on, I believe it's this side, because you do the I-cord edging as you're knitting. It's not something you add on at the end. It's while you're knitting, you're making the I-cord as well. And for one side, it was really loose, and the other side, it was perfectly fine. So I don't know why it looks different. I think on the outside, it looks symmetrical. I think it looks the same. But if I were to flip it over and look at the inside, I can see that this one looks like it's messier than this one. And I did the little I-cord. I'll take off my sweater here quick. I did the little I-cord shoulder strap. It's not very long. It actually doesn't call for a long I-cord shoulder strap, just about, I think I did about the amount that they called for, and attached it to the back of my tank top, which I think you might be able to see. There's a little bit of a, like, it kind of goes out here, and that's where I was messing up on that I-cord join. Yeah, I couldn't, I don't know, I was making it too loose or too tight or something there. This side looks better. This side is fine. I didn't have that problem. But whatever. It's fine. It's the back. You're not going to really see it. My hair is covering it and stuff. And I really don't think I can show it off on camera here. So I will insert a bit of B-roll of me wearing it so you can see it complete. Another thing that I did is I also lengthened it. I think I did about 2 repeats more than what the pattern called for the length of it, because I really didn't want it to be cropped. Yeah, I think that's about it. And it does call for a tubular bind off, so I did a tubular bind off on the edging. And because in the pattern it actually says to, it's a very small ribbing that you do at the bottom before you do the tubular bind off, which I did, very small edging, and it does roll because of that. So I blocked it pretty aggressively to try and prevent that rolling at the bottom of the tank top. And I think also if I were to tuck it in, which I might with some of my outfits, tuck it in at the front anyways, you're obviously not going to see the rolling, but I did have to aggressively block it to get it to lay flat at the bottom there. But all in all, I'm happy with it. If it rolls a bit, it's not too big of a deal. It just looks better if it's flat. So I would have liked to have added a longer amount of ribbing, but I ran out of yarn, and I was trying to go to the specs of the pattern with just a little bit of ribbing at the end. So that's why. Yeah, I think that's all I really have to say about that pattern. It's a really nice pattern. I would totally knit it again for a tank top. It's really nice. The yarn itself, I do find it's not very like flowy. It's kind of stiff. It is a bit scratchy, kind of pokey, I guess. It's not the most soft yarn. That's probably because of the like linen in there and stuff, but it is a nice summer yarn. So I will, maybe with washing, it'll be a little less scratchy as I go. But I do like the shirt itself, and so I'm hoping to get lots of use out of it. And I can also wear it through the fall, winter, spring months, because I do need to wear a tank top every 2 or so weeks when I go to my physio appointments, because I get my shoulder worked on there, and so I need to have access to that. So yeah. Okay. So we're actually going to go a bit out of order today. I would normally go to my works in progress after this, because this is my only finished object, but I'm actually going to shift to acquisitions before I do works in progresses, because 2 of my acquisitions I am currently using right now. So I might as well show them first and then go to the works in progresses. So I'm going to start off with my twice sheared sheep acquisition. So I got the fall box a couple weeks ago, and I had to use some of it already, but I brought it all back so we could see it. But I'm also using the cup that came with it, because I do need to have a couple of pauses during this filming to take a drink of tea because my throat is a little bit rough right now. So I'll show you the cup that came with the box quickly while I go ahead and take a sip here in a moment. But it's a cute in the woods kind of cup here. It's stainless steel on the inside. It's got a little plastic lid with a little cover to open and close it. It's keeping my tea nice and hot. I'm drinking chocolate mint tea from Stash, like the brand Stash, if anybody's curious what I have in here, with just a splash of milk. And it tastes delicious. Okay, so that is part of that's the cup that came with it, and I'll just grab the rest. So like pretty much with every time, so this is my third box that I've gotten from them, and each box has one big item and a bunch of like smaller items. So I think the cup was the big item this time. And everything else is kind of the smaller items. I'm gonna start with the pom-pom that they sent. So this cute little black pom-pom to put on top of a hat. I'm not a big pom-pom person, and this is a humongous pom-pom. It's like a pretty significant size. So I don't know what I'm gonna do with it. It's really cute, it's fuzzy, it's really soft, but it might be sitting around for a while before I figure out what to do with it. And then I also got, they usually, the three times that I've gotten the boxes, they've come with a tin. And so this is the tin, and if you can hear it, I already have it filled with stuff. This is the tin that I got this time. It's bears. The theme was like in the woods or something like that was the theme of this box, kind of like a nice autumn woody theme. And anyways, in the box I put the stitch markers that came with it, or the progress keepers? Probably progress keepers. And they're cute little mushrooms. So I'll try to show these. I'll take a picture if they're not showing up. Here's one mushroom guy. See another one. And the third one. And also, it came with a progress, like your, what are they called? Tree of Life row counter. There we go. It's called a row counter. And it's like a Tree of Life one because at the very bottom of it has a little Tree of Life. And yeah, it's just like the, counting rows 1 to 10, and then it has a little clip here that you can move down the rows to go 10s and 20s and 30s and 40s and down where we go. So that's really handy. I actually already had to use it, and my project finished. I think I used it on this project. It must have been. The project finished so I could put it back in the box so we could all see it when I'm showing my acquisitions. Also, it came with a nice, beautiful little hedgehog in yarn measuring tape. So that's good. I actually needed to replace my other one that I'd been using because it was kind of breaking. So that was good timing. And it came with this little handy bag. It says, "My Little Bag of Magic Tricks." And it's considered a pencil bag. So it has like a little elastic on the back. I think you can probably put it on your notebooks, and then you can have it filled with pencils and goodies and all that kind of stuff. And I've just been storing my like measuring tape and this tin and stuff in it. All right, and the last thing that it came with, make sure, yes, is this cute bundle of mini skeins. So this is Yarnaceous? Yes, Yarnaceous fiber doodle set. And it is it's the Cozy Cabin doodle set, and it is 85% superwash merino, 5% nylon. No, I said 85 and 5? 15, there we go, my eyes. 85% superwash merino, 15% nylon, 49 yards per 20 gram mini skein. And I don't know what I want to do with it yet, but I kind of do want to doodle cowl or doodle something with it. Even like a cool colorwork yoke for a shirt would be cool with these colors. I just have to find a main color that's in the same fiber content to, if I were to do a shirt, to make the whole shirt. So yeah, that's what I got from Twice Sheer Cheap for the autumn box. Really happy with it. And I did actually order their Christmas Advent box as well, because I just wanted the full year. So that'll be coming for December. Hooray! And the other thing that I got was some yarn for a sweater I'm making my husband. So I put in an order for nope, come on, brain. There we go. I put in an order for Knit Picks. It is their Wool of the Andes yarn, and I did the color gray, like it's a gray color. Does it actually have a color name? Yes, it's Cobblestone Heather. Cobblestone Heather, Wool of the Andes by Knit Picks. It is a bulky weight yarn. It's a superwash yarn. So I have, does it say the amount? It should. Yes, it's 137 yards for 100 grams, and I had to buy 11 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think I did 11 of them to make sure that I had enough for my husband. My husband is like 6'1". He's pretty tall. He's got pretty good broad shoulders, so I am knitting him, which I'll do in my next segment, but I'm knitting him a sweater. So I bought a big bag of yarn for him, and I've already started the sweater, and that's super exciting. Okay. So that is all of my acquisitions, and we'll move on to works in progress. I'm going to start with something that I actually haven't shown in a few episodes because I didn't work on it for a number of episodes, but I finally picked it up again and started working on it, and I got a little bit of progress, so I thought I would show it. And that is my Colors of the Wind scarf, cowl by Tanis Gray, and it is from his Disney, one of his Disney books that you can buy off of like Amazon or whatever, and it has like Disney patterns, and this one's from the Pocahontas movie, and it's Colors of the Wind. And I'm actually doing it inverted, I guess, because in the pattern you'll see that all the leaves are white and all the background is the color, because it's Colors of the Wind, but I wanted the leaves to be colors and the background to be white, so that's what I'm doing. So that's my progress so far. You do a provisional cast on because you're going to join it in the round when you're done the cowl. And I had, last I showed it, I had done from here to this marker, and now I'm from that marker all the way to there now. So I've done another like segment of leaves, and I'm on a second segment of leaves, it looks like. Yeah. So it's, you know, because it's a small circumference, I repeat the pattern, I think 3 times around before I'm on to the next row, and it's not a very memorizable pattern, so I can't like remember which stitch I go like is next and whatever throughout, and so I'm constantly looking at the pattern in the book to make sure that I'm doing it right and I'm not missing where my stitches go and whatever. And so it is a bit of a laborious knit. It's not very intuitive or, you know, mindless. So I'll show my floats if anybody's curious too. I've got my floats there. I think they're looking pretty good. It's kind of my second colorwork project, so I'm still like getting used to the tension of it all and all that too. So yeah, I thought I would do a cowl for my second colorwork, so I thought it would be a good second project for colorwork, and it is. But I kind of wish that, you know, if I had done a sweater with just a yoke colorwork, it would be done by now, that part, and I would be on to the easy part. But this is a whole colorwork cowl, so you have to be in the mood for it. I really want it for autumn. It is autumn. It's not done. It's not even close to being done. It's like maybe a sixth of the way done. So I still have a lot to go. we'll see if I get it done for any part of this season where I can wear it. But yeah, like I said, I have to be in the mood to want to knit it, and I am in the mood for doing my other knits usually more so. But I'm using yarn from Knit Picks. It is the, do I actually have a tag in here? Yeah. It's worsted weight chroma yarn. I have the white one is the bear color. And this colorful one is called Pegasus. They are 198 yards per 100 grams. It is 70% superwash wool, 30% nylon, and it is like, it's not, I guess it's not twisted or whatever. There's no plying to it. And so it's really, this is the other reason why it's not done. It's really annoying to knit with it because it's easy to split the yarn or not fully capture the yarn every stitch that you're doing. So you really have to pay attention to not only the pattern, but also the yarn that you're capturing the whole thread of yarn as you go each time. Because I've got a couple, and I never bothered fixing it because I got half of it and the other half is just hanging out somewhere else in the cowl, and it's fine. But yeah, it's not very easy to work with. All right, the next one I want to talk about is one that I am kind of doing a combination knit. I'm combining the June top with the Rigmor top. I think it's called the Rigmor top. Yes, the Rigmor Tee and the June top by Petite Knit. So the June top is like a tank top and the Rigmor Tee is a t-shirt, but the Rigmor Tee is an all over pattern and I'm not doing the pattern. I just wanted the pattern to know how to connect a bottom up garment from converting it from a tank top into a t-shirt, if that makes sense. Because I was going to just make the June top out of this material. But then I think I have more yarn than what I will use for a tank top, so I might as well make a t-shirt. But I'd already done a good amount of it, so I didn't want to rip back, especially because half of this is a DK Surrey, and that is not happening. I'm not ripping out DK Surrey. So I just figured I would just change the top of it and make it into a t-shirt instead of a tank top. So I needed to get a pattern to know how to make the sleeves and stuff for a t-shirt. Anyways, I tried to get a pattern that was close to the June top, so my stitch count would be very similar and my gauge would be very similar, so it wouldn't be like I wouldn't have to do math, I guess. And so that's why I picked the Rigmor Tee, because it's pretty close in gauge and size, and I'm just not doing the pattern. Whew, that's a lot of explanation here. But so what I've done is so this one is also a Judy's Magic cast on. You can do a Judy's Magic cast on if you want to when you're doing the June top. You don't have to, but she says that if you want to, so then at the end, if you have more yarn, you can lengthen it. So I chose to do that. I did a Judy's Magic cast on here. Kind of see, I've got the stitches on hold. And then I've just been doing like a striping pattern with my two yarns because I'm using yarn from Bramble Ridge, Megan at Bramble Ridge. She has her Surrey DK, which is the gray, and then I got one of her, she does her own spinning, so I got one of her braids from that. Braids, that's not the right word. She spun, I bought the yarn that she spun, or got the yarn, gifted to me from her, which is very, very amazing. So I'm combining the two because I thought they would look really nice together, and I think they do. And I only got one skein of each, and so I didn't want to make like a hat out of each or gloves or a scarf or anything. I wanted to have a garment, so I thought that they would also work good together for that. So that's what I'm doing. I just, as you can see, maybe, I connected one sleeve here. So I also did a Judy's Magic cast on the sleeve, and it's in the Surrey that I'm doing the sleeves. And then I connected this one, and I've just got this one that I'm about to connect now. Judy's Magic cast on for this sleeve, and then I'll connect it. I'm going to work the yoke next and the neckline, and then I will lengthen the shirt, and then I'll come back to the sleeves with any other additional yarn that I would have left over and add length to the sleeves if I feel like if I have yarn for it. But if not, I think it might be a cute little cap sleeve otherwise. So I did a Judy's Magic cast on just in case I can add length to the sleeve, but if not, I think it'll be a cute little cap sleeve. So there's how she's going so far. I'm not really sure where, I was when I showed this last. I feel like I was probably just finished at this Surrey line, and so I did a row of the spun yarn and then another row of the Surrey and then the sleeves as well. I hope that's showing up okay. And I'm using my Caidree needles, my circular needles, and it is a size, what am I doing here? I'm doing 4 millimeters. The pattern calls for 4 millimeters or 3.5, I think, for the ribbing. So I'm pretty much on par with that. I didn't gauge swatch, so that's why. But I'd been trying it on, and it seems really good. And I did like try the sleeve on before I attached it to make sure it was, you know, wide enough for my arm, and it seemed fine. And then I tried on this before I added the sleeves to make sure it was wide enough, and it seemed fine. So I'm happy with it so far that way. And let's see. And I'm knitting the size small, and it calls for 5 centimeters of negative ease, but that is for the tank top, not for the Rigmor Tee. So I'm not too worried that it doesn't have negative ease. I kind of don't want it to. Okay, I think that's all I have to say about this one. I've got a good amount still left. I'll show you what I'm working with. There's the beautiful spun one and the Surrey. And I think they just look so beautiful together. Ah, I love it so much. I can't wait for it to be done. I can't wait to be done working with DK Surrey. It is a pain. It also does that splitting because it's like it's super floofy. It's really easy to not capture the full floof around the yarn there. So I have to be really careful and watch my knitting when I'm working on that one. Not so much this one. This one's beautiful. This one's so easy to work. Not a problem. It's just when I switch it over to the Surrey that I'm like, it's a bit of a slog then, because I'm like, oh, I have to work on this DK Surrey, and it's so annoying to capture that whole yarn thread every time I'm knitting into it. So yeah, I hopefully will work on this. Actually, I'm planning on working on this today. Hopefully get the yoke done is the plan. Maybe the neckline, we'll see. I'll have way more of it done next time I show it to you though, for sure. On to my cardigan. So this is my step-by-step cardigan now. And I'm happy to say that she is almost finished. All I have left to do on her is the button band. I got my sleeves done, and we'll give it a quick try on here. So I got the sleeves done, like I was saying, the sleeves are both done, and like the whole body of it's done. I'm pretty happy with the length of it. I'm a little worried that the back is not as long as the front. I can't remember if I had to do German short rows with it or not, or like any lengths added at the back. I can't remember. I could look at the pattern. I'm too lazy to do that. I will give like a full breakdown of it when it's all done. So I will let you know when she is finished. I just can't remember the top of my head right now. But yeah, otherwise, I do want to block it before I do the button band because it's, as you can tell, it is curling right here so much. It'll be a pain to pick up that button band with this much curl. So I figure I will block her, pin her down to dry, and then hopefully that'll be a lot easier to pick up. And it'll also give me a better idea if it's long enough. And if I need to add any length, then that will be the time to do it, because once the button band's in, she's not getting any more length. So yes, that's this one all done. So it's the Step-by-Step Cardigan by Florence Miller. I don't think I said that. And it is, the gauge is 16 by 21 for 10 centimeters. Did I gauge swatch? I'm pretty sure, yes, I gauge swatched, and I was off by like 1 stitch. So I went up a size to make sure that it was going to be big enough. And so I'm doing the size C. It should have 15 centimeters of positive ease when she's all done. So like, I imagine the button band will be like here, say. So I've got a good amount of ease on the side. If I had her buttoned up, I think I reached that amount of positive ease. The sleeves aren't too tight. They're a good amount of ease as well. So I can wear a long sleeve shirt under if I wanted to. Yeah, I did, I put more length in the sleeve before I started the ribbing because I actually did less length. It calls for 7 centimeters of ribbing for each of the, like the sleeves and the cuff down here. And I did 5 instead of 7. So I just made sure that I adjusted the length of the sleeves and the stockinette before I did the ribbing, just to match the hem as well. And it's a top-down knit. You knit it flat, you're going back and forth, so it's a ton of purling. There's no steeking though, so that's kind of nice. And what else? No, I should talk about the yarn. And the yarn I'm using is from Bramble Ridge. It's her woolen spun yarn, so it is non-superwash yarn, and it is 100% merino DK in the color Dusk. And I didn't bring the ball in here. I'm on the last skein, the last ball of it. I just had to dip into it a little bit to finish off the ribbing, so I've got the majority of it left for my button band, which is really good. But yeah, it's a really beautiful yarn. There's a little bit of it there. And it's a DK, and the cardigan calls for yarn weight. Maybe bulky? I can't remember. But I chanced doing a little bit of a thinner yarn than what the pattern called for, and it's working out. That was another reason why I did a size C as well, because it is not quite the thickness of the yarn that the pattern called for. But it's a free pattern, which is amazing. And she also does a video tutorial of it. So if it's ever, that's why I chose it actually, 'cause it's my very first cardigan to ever knit. So I thought I would do, you know, kind of an easy one. And she has the video tutorial on YouTube, so you can follow it. And I'm going to be dipping into that pretty soon once I'm ready to do the button band, because I definitely need to watch the video tutorial for the button band. That's the part that is new to me. So, but yeah, very pleasant pattern. And it's very warm. Even with a tank top on underneath, I'm feeling quite warm with this already. So that's good. It'll keep me warm in the fall, winter, and, you know, early spring. All right, let me just pop this back on and we'll go to the next one. So my last work in progress that I want to talk about is the one that uses the yarn that I bought for my husband, and I'm doing Petite Knits, the zipper sweater for man pattern for this. I did a gauge swatch. I actually did 3 different sizes just because it's easier to, if I need to size up, I know. So I did like a 5mm, 5.5, and a 6mm size for my gauge swatch. And it's a good thing that I did, because in the pattern, she says you need 5mm, I think is hers. Yeah, 5mm. And I'm actually going with the 6mm for my gauge swatch. That's what got me gauged. So a whole 2 sizes up. So I'm glad I gauge swatched properly, especially because it's not for me, it's for my husband. So I better make sure it's going to fit him. So yes, I'm using a size 6mm needle for the body and everything. And I did use a size 5mm needle for the neck. And I will also do that for the hems and stuff. I'll show you how far I am. I actually got a good amount done. I'm still a little bit wet. I had to block it to make sure it's going to fit him. I don't know yet because it's still wet and drying. But here it is so far. I've got the whole like yoke done. The neck is done. I've just come to the part where I need to split for sleeves. So that's my next job. I'm going to split for sleeves once this dries and he tries it on. And like I did a try on with him before I blocked it, and it looks fine. So after blocking, I just want to know how much it grew and make sure it's not too big from blocking. And if it looks good, which I'm hoping it will because I don't want to have to redo this, then we'll carry on and we'll split for sleeves and all that. So for this one, you do a Judy's Magic cast on for the neck. You start at the neck, you do a Judy's Magic cast on, you work the neck, and then once you get the right length, you are connecting the 2 ends. You're picking up your held stitches with your working stitches to make that folded over edge. And you put a couple stitches on hold because this is going to be part of where the zipper goes. So I've got, that's what these are. They're holding a few stitches on each side for the zipper. And then you do your you do short rows and stuff and your raglan increases and all that. So all the way down before you split for your sleeves. And so I've got that all done. I'm a little nervous about doing the zippers. I've never done a zipper attachment before in any of my knits, so that'll be new. I think she's got video of that though. She's got all the videos for all the things, so it's pretty amazing. I don't know why, but I really struggled with that Judy's Magic cast on for this one. I kept messing up, or I miscounted, or whatever. I had to rip it out like 4 times. I was getting so frustrated. But I finally got it, and then we were rolling, so we're good. But yeah, the yarn that I'm using is the Wool of the Andes yarn from Knit Picks, which is the worsted weight yarn. This is my 3rd ball. I'm already on my 3rd one, almost ready for my 4th one. So I think I will need all that yarn. So that is that. Yeah. It's my first sweater that I've ever knit for him. I've knit scarves and toques for him, but this will be my first sweater for him, so that's exciting. And I did let him pick the sweater pattern so that he'd be happy with it, and I did let him pick the yarn as well, and I did all his measurements and all that, so that we're hopefully gonna have a sweater that he's gonna love and wear. And all that. Oh, and I am doing the size medium as well. So like this sweater, it actually calls for quite a lot of ease. It's supposed to have 20 centimeters of positive ease, which is quite a lot of positive ease. And my husband wasn't really too interested in having it that big. So we did try and make it so that it was a little less ease, but he could still wear something underneath it. So size medium is what we went with. And yeah, hopefully it's going to work out. Okay, so that's it for today. I went through all my works in progresses. I got my acquisitions and my one finished object. So I think that's it. Thanks for joining me today, you guys, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.